Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the wonderful Bramall Lane. Looking outside, what a fantastic stadium. And a pleasure to be in Sheffield. What a turnout today. Some promoters would dream to have this turnout at their actual shows. But ours is on Saturday night, and I cannot wait for the return of the special one, Kell Brook. It's been nearly 10 months since he last defended his IBF world title, 17,000 at the O2 when he defeated Frankie Gavin, and almost 12 months since he was boxing in Sheffield when he faced his first mandatory challenger against Jojo Dan. Many people are talking and overlooking Kevin Bizier in this fight. Who's Kell Brook going to fight in the summer? And I know that he is 100% focused on Saturday night. We give full credit and respect to Kevin Bizier. He earned his shot to be here. He won a final eliminator stopping Frederick Lawson in a very tough fight. And this is his golden opportunity. I know exactly how Kell Brook felt when he was the mandatory challenger and what this meant to him. So we expect a great fight on Saturday night in the main event. Kell Brook is the #1 ranked welterweight with the Ring magazine. I believe he's the best welterweight in the world, and over the next 12 months you're going to see just that. Leigh obviously boxed at the arena last time. Chance for you to pick up a title here and hoping to look good once again.
Yeah, big opportunity. Thanks for having me back on a massive bill. I'm feeling really confident, not just ahead of my fight, but in myself, my boxing ability. I'm buzzing at the minute. Everything's clicking together. My last fight, I had to box to instruction a little bit, and it was a bit boring for me. And I like to let my hands go and enjoy myself, and I couldn't do that last time out. This time, the instructions are clear, and I'm going to be letting shots go and expressing myself, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Obviously, it's a great division at the moment domestically, and you must feel like you're on the verge now of certainly the British titles and looking beyond.
I think after this it's got to be a British Commonwealth or something along them lines. I'm ready for it now. I'm really going to show on Saturday how much I'm ready for it, and I just can't wait to get a shot, one of the titles, and if it can be made, it can be made. I've never turned a fight down in my life. I'm ready for any of them guys. Whether they want 24 hours notice or getting paid in Monopoly money, but we'll sort it after the fight for sure.
I would like to thank Eddie Hearn and Yvonne Michel to put things together to make that fight happen. It's a great opportunity for Kevin Bizier. We had an amazing training camp with a very good quality of sparring partner. We have no excuse, no injury. We have nothing to lose and everything to gain here. Thank you.
Obviously, I'm sure you've studied Kell Brook leading up to this fight. I, for one, feel that the styles gel very well in this fight to make it a great fight. Both fighters like to stand and fight, both like to come forward, both punch hard, both have good chins. What have you seen in the build-up, without obviously giving your tactics away, but talking about the styles of the fight? We know Kevin always likes to excite.
For sure, I don't want to explain too much exactly what we're going to do Saturday night. I think Kell is a very good fighter, complete fighter who can do a lot of stuff in the ring. And it's the same thing for Kevin Bizier. He fought all his life at the international amateur level. Now he's a professional. He's a mandatory challenger. He has a lot of ability, and he can adapt to any kind of situation in the ring. I think when you look at both styles, that fight is a guaranteed success for the fans.
Thank you.
Kevin Bizier has earned his position here. There hasn't been a gift. He's been pro since 8 years now. He traveled well. He fought in the amateur boxing. He was 7-year Canadian champion. He was a Canadian team member. He fought here in England, in Liverpool. He fought 4 fights just before he turned pro. He won his position as a mandatory contender when he knocked out undefeated Frederick Lawson. It was in Miami, far away from his own place. And so you cannot have a better dedicated athlete. You cannot have a better team than the team that surround him for his preparation. He knew that he was going to fight for the World Championship right after the Lawson fight, so it was early November. So he's been training for that since that date, March 26th. It's the best date that we could have got for him to be ready. And I want to talk just a little bit now about his motivation. Now, his motivation is that high. It's like for him, he's gonna fight like if it is his last fight ever. I guarantee you that Kevin will get in the ring, and if you think that he's gonna go away in 1 or 2 rounds, no, you better, you know, I'm telling you, he will be there until the end. You know, I read everywhere. I read that Kell Brook was hoping to have a good opposition, to have a good fight for your fan at some time. You have to be careful what you wish for because you can have it, and then when you have it, you have to cope with it. So Kevin Bizier is coming here to win the title and to go back home with the IBF belt.
I speak French I'm not very good in English. Je voulais juste dire que regarde, c'est vrai que c'est la plus grosse opportunité de toute ma vie. Puis on sait que c'est une grosse mission, mais on va essayer de faire de notre mieux samedi.
Says he understands that this is a great task, that he's very motivated, that he's well prepared, and he's going to do everything he can to get the win Saturday.
Thank you. Dom, it's definitely been the longest training camp of all time. Kell not been out of the ring for this long for some period. He's been extremely disciplined since the injury that forced him out of the Diego Chavez fight. And I think he's looking forward to going in there and putting on a great display on Saturday.
Yeah, he's been in camp a long time. He's fit, he's strong, he's on weight. And you know, once again, we're at the mandatory position again. Kevin Bizier, who's had the fortune to, you know, see Giorgio Dano, he's boxed twice with Kell Brook. He knows what's coming, he knows what to expect, and sometimes in boxing that's a good thing. He's a tough guy, he can punch, and you know, he put in 2 good performances against Giorgio Dan. But on Saturday night, it's going to be a different, you know, kettle of fish to Giorgio Dan with Kell Brook. I watched Kevin yesterday, Tuesday in the workout on the pads. It looks like he's got plenty of power, plenty of snap. For me, it looked a little bit tense, like he was on edge. A bit like a man on his wedding night who's got something to prove. But if he goes out on Saturday night, relaxes, enjoys it, I'm sure he won't feel a thing. But you know, he's going to come and give a good fight. He's going to be up for it. It's his big chance, and I'm expecting him, you know, to go at least 6 or 7 rounds before maybe it gets a bit too much for him. He starts to unravel a little bit, and then Kell Brook takes him out.
Obviously, you know, we know there's been a huge amount of frustration over the period with injuries, forcing Kell Brook out of fights. How concerned are you that Kell, you know, he talks in his interviews about the fact that he just wants to go in and have a real fight. He wants to have a tear up, that he sticks to the game plan that you, or are you willing to let him go into that mode?
There's always a time and a place for a tear up, and that's generally when you box the guy to a place where you can start having a tear up with him and there's nothing left in him. And I think over the last, you know, I've seen a couple of fights where kids have gone out. One particular fight, Anthony Joshua and the other guy, and they started off with a punch up, and then they finished off boxing. But you know, the way we do it is we start off boxing, break them down, and then get into a bit of a punch up and finish them off. And I think that's the proper way to do it. So you know, Kell's always wanted to get let off the leash, but he's a good boxer. He picks his way in first. He finds the openings. He's very precise. You know, like he did with Frankie Gavin. A lot of people are talking about Frankie Gavin being a fantastic on his feet. You know, and Kell's going to have problems breaking him down and closing him down. And within 4 or 5 rounds he'd done that, he knocked him out in 6. So, you know, Kell can do it both ways. He can have a fight, he can box, whichever way it's going to be on Saturday night. I'm sure Kell Brook's going to, you know, pull it out of the bag, give the fans what they want.
Obviously, you talked about Kevin Bizier being a big puncher. We know that. We know he's got a good chin as well. How important is it with everybody talking about what's next to stay in the moment on Saturday night? We've seen fighters in the past, whether it's Tyson against Douglas or Morales against Raheem, take their eye off the ball looking at other fights and make mistakes.
Well, we've had this before. I remember Kell boxing in Atlantic City in 2011, I think, and you know, he came into the gym and said, Eddie's going to get me this guy, it's going to be an easy fight. And I said to him, there's no easy fights in boxing. And you know, we don't allow the fighters to under-prepare. You know, whether it's in their mind or not to do it or not, you know, it's down to them. But when they're in the gym, there's no easy workouts, there's no easy spars, everything's full on. And we rolled up into that fight, and the guy who turned up was in immaculate condition. He had a Rocky t-shirt on. He knew everything about Kell Brook, everything about the gym. And you know, that was a prime example of not underestimating it. And for 4 or 5 rounds, he came out and threw everything at Kell Brook, bust Kell a few times. He says, I'm going to have to win and finish him. I says, no, wait your chance, it'll come. You know, as soon as Kell gets hit with his shot, something decent, he must have a war. But it took his time. He eventually, you know, he finished the kid off, and unfortunately afterwards the kid ended up in hospital. But you know, that's what boxing's about. So we learned the lesson fairly early on with Kell Brook. Never tell anybody it's going to be an easy fight. It's not going to be an easy fight with Kevin Bizier. You know, it's tough. We've not overlooked him. We've done all the work. We're not looking past Kevin Bizier, because to get past Kevin, you know, get to the big fights, you've got to beat Kevin Bizier, and you've got to beat Kevin Bizier in style. You know, he's got a level, he's got a measure. You know, he's lost twice to Giorgio Dan. He's around about that level. But he's a different fighter to Giorgio Dan. He's not a southpaw. He's not really a boxer. He'll have a bit of a fight, and you know, Giorgio Dan just managed to box his way through that fight. But Kevin Bizier will stand there, will trade punches, you know, to get his own shots off. And you know, we'll see what happens on Saturday night. But you know, Kell's a precise puncher. He's very accurate. He's very powerful. And I think, you know, on Saturday night, Kevin Bizier's probably going to realise after 4 or 5 rounds he's out of his depth.
Kell Brook, 10 months nearly till you were last in the ring. A quick turnaround in that fight from the Jojo Dan, which was 12 months nearly since you walked out in front of your people at Sheffield Arena. I know you're so excited to be back at the arena on Saturday night, and so excited to be fighting again.
Absolutely, but I'm desperate for an old-fashioned war. You know, this Saturday I'm desperate for an old-fashioned war. I know that Bizier is a strong come-forward fighter, and I'm looking to excite everybody who comes to the show and have an old-fashioned war. You know, I'm very excited. It's been nearly a year since I were back in the Sheffield arena. And you know, this is fight week. I can't wait to get weighed in, get some scran in there, and get ready for fight night. You know, camp has gone, you know, unbelievably well. You know, but we've obviously missed out on a few things. You know, not celebrating birthdays and over Christmas, but you know, my mind's been on the job in hand, and you know, I've made sure that there's no stone being unturned. We've done everything right, and you know, Saturday night it's about breaking Mr. Bizier's heart, and then it's about breaking his bones. So Saturday night, here we go.
Obviously, people talk about the fights in the future for you. How important is it? Obviously, you have to get through Saturday night, but do you feel the pressure to look good on Saturday night? You know, you need to shine. We'll talk about you being the #1 ranked fighter in the division. Feel you're going to have to prove that against Kevin Bizier first?
I have. You know, I'm the IBF champion of the world, and you know, I need to go out there and show everybody why I'm the champion. I've got to look good in this fight. You know, and I believe that I'm the best welterweight on the planet, and I'm ready for them big fights. You know, I always rise to the occasion. I always find a way. You know, I've seen every style. Our gym, you know, is built on seeing every style. That's why we get the Ingle style, you know, come to us. But you know, this is me now. I'm 30 this year. You know, I wanna show the world, you know, I am the best, and I'm ready for them big fights. I'm ready for them.
Finally, explain your thoughts going in when you're standing up on that stage on Saturday night. All of the lights comes out. You know, 7,000-8,000 people in the arena. The tingle up your spine. You know what you live for as a professional fighter.
I'd say that this is what I was born for. You know, in the dressing room, you know, I've got my gloves on. I'm hitting the pads. You know, I'm hearing the fans getting louder. It's getting nearer the time. You know, and then you walk down the tunnel and they play all of the lights. And it's your time. You know, you walk out there, you see all the fans, you know, shouting your name, and you're walking closer to that ring, and you feel invincible. You know you've done everything right. It's about getting in and just enjoying the night. You know, it's what a night it's going to be.
On his right shoulder, get on the back. And now at each other, please, guys.
Wow.
Cheers,
guys.
Thank you.